Hello, I am Madeline Derbyshire, here to present a summary on a research article defining why people poach by Rachel Newer. This article is interesting to me as I am a college student going for a global studies degree. One element of this degree is to learn about global institutions, issues, and movements happening across the globe and how they influence us. As wildlife heavily affects our environment and ecosystem and is a global concern, it is definitely a topic of research to me. I hope in this informative summary you will find new insight on the allure and influences poaching has on people in their community. I'd like to first introduce the questions presented in the article, then how they shape the solutions of the research team. I would also like to note how more research is needed into the questions the article presented along within their solutions. Research began by interviewing those imprisoned for crimes against wildlife in hopes to answer questions such as who poaches and why do they poach. Many admitted that yes, greed was a heavy influencer. They want extra cash. It was also found, though, that a majority of the prisoners, about 70%, believed the crime they were to commit lacked serious consequence. They were quick to find the opposite, though. These prisoners told stories of how their arrest affected not only their freedom, but also their families. These inmates talked how some family members have committed suicide, while others now had to find work outside of the nation, Nepal. With these interviews, it was revealed, more like hoped, that if people were more educated on the consequences of poaching, they would be less likely to do so. That the answers to their questions was those who poached were uneducated on the consequences, and they poached because they could get away with it. One research team decided that with the prisoners' answers, they could create a simple but entertaining solution to spread the message of what happens once you poached. They believed many people were uneducated on the matter because they could not read or did not want to read a boring research article. Therefore, the solution came that if they could hear the information and maybe sing along with it, relate to it, and be entertained, they would understand why they should not poach. The team teamed up with a traveling musician that would introduce and inform the people through music and instruments that the citizens were open to and enjoyed. They used the stories of the inmates and made up some stories of the animals affected by poaching into their songs, and has so far been shown good outcome. The people have shown they can relate to the music and its message. Sadly, further research into why Nepal citizens are not being informed of the effects of poaching have not been done, and therefore the solution provided may work but not tackle the true problem at hand. What is needed is for the government to invest in not only the conservation of wildlife, but to educate on the topic as a whole, continuously. It has also been observed that communities near protected areas are more inclined to commit crimes against wildlife than elsewhere in the nation of Nepal. These are the same folk that were also relocated to grant protected land to the wildlife. It is unknown whether the grudge of land evictions, historical injustices, and political marginalization are influencing these communities to act against wildlife conservation, or if they believe that is their right to hunt and to the land, such as South Africans have been showing. Once again, more research is needed in this area. In conclusion, the summarized research article brought to light the key motivations as to why some commit crimes against wildlife. When providing a solution, though, it failed to incorporate major players or provide long-term answers. The research also failed to achieve a diverse test group, therefore leaving a gap in understanding why those nearest in the protected parks have more motivations to commit wildlife crimes. The article did bring awareness that conservationists are failing to ask key questions and that if the conservationists were able to discover from whom they were protecting wildlife from, they could tackle and dwindle possible poaching numbers, shrinking the group of attackers. So more research is hopefully coming soon.